Good afternoon. We're having our house painted outside, so it's caused a lot of disruption. I'm inside and the lighting isn't perfect. Besides the Camino channel that I have on YouTube, I'm going to start another channel called Ron's Reflections, and it will be a little bit more devotional. I read a story the other day as I'm reading through the Bible this year from 2 Kings chapter 7 about the four lepers, and lepers lived desperate lives. Not only were they ill, they were isolated from family and friends, forced to be outside of the city. A terrible famine has swept the people of God. And these four lepers are sitting outside, and they come to this kind of a group decision. We're going to die, so we can either sit here and die, or we can go into the Assyrian camp, and either they give us something to eat or they will kill us. And they make this interesting statement that I'd never really noticed before. And the worst that they will do to us if we go into their camp is to die. That's the worst thing that can happen. This week, I've received news of two friends who have passed away. The former district superintendent in Wisconsin, Kevin Donnelly, who I filled in for when he succumbed to cancer right after I had retired for nearly a year in Wisconsin. His daughter, who lives just not very far from us in the greater Tampa area, just passed away from her 5-year-long battle with cancer. And then someone from my first church down in Corpus Christi, Texas, Tony Walker, who had ALS, passed away last Thursday. And so it gets you thinking about your own mortality. And so it is in that context that I was reading this story, and I quickly thought of a few things that it just reminded me of. When they went into the Assyrian camp, those lepers, God had caused it to sound like a great host, an army was coming, and the Assyrians fled and left everything to the lepers. They went into a tent, they ate till they couldn't eat anymore. They took gold and clothes and went home, came back, went into the next tent. And then one time while they're thinking around what's going on and eating all this, they said, we can't keep this to ourselves. Let's go tell our king what has happened and all that is available. Let me just tell you, since I'm a preacher, there are some lessons I see in this story. The first is faith always requires action or movement. You can't just sit still. They thought, let's get up, let's take action. If we're going to die, let's at least die with our boots on and taking action, and maybe we'll be blessed out of it. So they got up from sitting outside the gate, went to the Assyrian camp. There are times that God moves beyond our expectations. There are times when we wonder, but there are times when he moves beyond what we could expect. And they had courage even in uncertain times. A famine, they were lepers. I don't know what your status is today or what you're going through, but this is no time to lose hope or to lose your faith. The other thing I learned about the lepers, if you would think they were the least likely in the country that God would use, it would be four lepers outside the city gate. God uses the least likely people, and that's the best news you and I have ever heard. God uses many times, oftentimes, the least likely people. Are you willing to allow him to use you? The last lesson that I get from these four lepers is they're sitting there surrounded by riches and no one's keeping them from. They're eating all they want. They're taking gold. They're taking clothing. One of them thought, we've been blessed by God. It is God who has caused all of this to happen. We can't keep it to ourselves. Let us, the outcasts, go and tell the king there's plenty of bounty. There's plenty of food in a land of starvation because God has sent the Assyrians off. They got up and went out and explained it and shared it with the folks in their country. You and I have been blessed. The poorest of us have been blessed by the world standards. So today, we should share what we have. As I record this, if you listen to this in the future, you will already know how this turns out. But the island of Jamaica down in the Caribbean is getting ready to face a horrific Category 5 hurricane. it will come upon all of us who care about people to share with them. We've all been blessed. And when either at church or on television, you hear about opportunities to be a blessing to the people in the island of Jamaica, let's make sure we participate. I will talk more about this new channel that I'm starting. I'm going to continue with the Camino channel with lessons and observations, but also going to have Ron's Reflections, and I'll show you how you can sign up for that later. Have a great and blessed day wherever you are.